Hi, everybody. This is Joe Giardulo, founder of SopranoPlanet.com on the web. Listen, I founded Soprano Planet 15 years ago, and the whole purpose was to make soprano playing more accessible and more enjoyable to more people. And we've done that in the last 15 years. If you want to know the response that we've gotten, go to the website and read what players are saying. From all over the world, players of every level, from internationally known stars to students, worship musicians, pit musicians, Broadway musicians, classical musicians. It's been a fantastic 15 years, and now we're launching the YouTube channel. And the YouTube channel is here because we need a place where we can go and deal with the specifics of soprano saxophone playing. One of the first things we have to deal with is the myth that the soprano is harder than any other saxophone, that it's, quote unquote, a beast. Well, it's not. It's a lot of nonsense. And I'm going to be able to show you that over these videos in the coming months. So pay attention. It will change the way you think about playing soprano, and it will change the way you play soprano sax. It will bring you more joy. I guarantee it. Well, what are some of the issues? What are some of the things we're going to cover? Well, some basic things. Reeds, for instance. There aren't that many good makers of soprano saxophone reeds, in my opinion, but reeds are personal. And how do we select a reed? What makes a good choice? Because if in fact you went out and bought every reed you could possibly buy, every brand, every cut, you'd go broke. So we're going to deal with that so we can narrow things down so that you can make some good choices and not waste a lot of money and a lot of time and experience a lot of frustration, because that is one of the results. So reeds are one thing we'll be talking about. Horns, we'll talk about horns too. They all look similar. Many of them look similar. But in fact, they're very different one to the next. They're not only different in their design and in their sound. If I put them side by side, you'd be shocked to say, oh, look at that. That one's taller. That one's shorter. Why is that? What does that mean? How does that affect me as a player? What can I expect when I look at a horn like that? So we'll talk about horns so that you have some knowledge, because you may not get a chance to play that many horns. I've been lucky. I've gotten to play hundreds and hundreds of brands and designs. So I know a lot about each individual horn. I'll share that information with you, and you can take that information, and apply it as you see fit. I'll do the same with mouthpieces. I make mouthpieces for soprano saxophone, but I don't care what mouthpiece you play. But I do care that your mouthpiece is playable. And the fact of the matter is, with soprano saxophone mouthpieces, many of them are not. And that's a source of major difficulty for players worldwide. We'll be dealing with that too. There's just three. What about practice? If you have limited time, for instance, how should you proceed? What's the most important thing to get done? Well, listen, you want to play music, but you need to have a certain technique. You have to have a certain facility to play. Follow some of the advice you get in our videos, and I guarantee you will make that kind of progress. You will get that facility. You will have that expertise, and it won't take you forever. But in fact, you could practice for years, and if you don't practice correctly, you're not going to get very far in terms of soprano. So being very specific to practicing soprano, that's one thing you'll find on our YouTube videos. And it goes on and on from there. For instance, intonation. Why are these notes out of tune when I play? It must be my horn. Well, no, it probably isn't your horn. And it probably isn't even you. But we'll get to that because we need to diagnose it. You and I, you watch these videos, you'll be able to diagnose it. You'll be able to understand what's at work and know how it needs to be fixed. And sometimes you can fix it and sometimes you can't. It's good to know that because you can waste an awful lot of time if you think you can fix something that in fact you can't fix. So that's some of the frustration we're going to get rid of. Intonation was one. What about this thing we hear about very often from soprano players, that there's so much back pressure that they think their head's going to explode? What is that? Where does that come from? Well, the answer is known and the fix is known. You'll learn all about that too. Listen, you're going to learn a lot and you're going to love doing it at the same time. This is Joe Giardulo. Drop by the website, sopranoplanet.com. Read what players are saying. Just read some of them. There's hundreds of them there. They were all unsolicited. They'll tell you what you can expect if you drop by our YouTube channel. I guarantee it. I've been guaranteeing it for 15 years. Listen, it's great to see everybody. I hope you stick around, and I hope this YouTube channel is as useful as I believe it will be. Be well. See you soon.